Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. This video is going to be a little bit different than what you usually see on this channel. This is going to be how you can take your Rocket League skills to the next level within 15 minutes. And this video is going to cover a wide variety of skills, whether you are a brand new player or you are at champ level, maybe pushing even into grand champ. So let's get right into the video. Alright, so the first tip we're going to get into is actually in your settings. So if you're a brand new player to Rocket League, you're still probably using the base camera settings. Now they're just not good, to be honest. And so you want to get yourself a decent pair of camera settings. Now these are from one of the pros that I watch, Justin, who plays for NRG. And I personally like these. So we're going to start with field of view. You always want to have it at either 110 or 109 because you want to see as much as the field as possible when playing. Now your distance from your car, you want to keep in between 290 and 230. Any more than that, and you're not going to be able to see the ball close enough when you're dribbling and stuff like that. So I recommend 270 is where most pros are at, and it's a good balance between both of them. Next, we get on to height. And height is really important depending on your play style. If you are much more ground oriented, you want to be a little bit higher on your car so you can see the ball when you're dribbling. Or if you're more of an aerial type player, you want to have a little bit lower. I have mine set in the middle to kind of a hybrid in between at 100, which is where a lot of the pros play around there a little bit. There's a little bit of variation, but that's a very good one that I recommend. Angle is a lot more up to you, and you can experiment with it. I recommend you stay anywhere between -2 and -5 though. And stiffness is really going to depend on where you want it. Some people play at max stiffness because they like the way it feels, and some people play at 0.1. So you're just going to have to experiment with that one. Swivel speed and transition speed don't matter a ton. They're how fast your camera snaps back to the ball when you leave ball mode. Alright, so the next tip we're going to get into is controls. And when you're starting off, you're going to want these to be a little bit lower. And as you get better, you can increase these, have a little bit more control over your car. But I recommend starting about 0.9 on both of these and keep this one at 0.05. Dodge dead zone, I recommend straight from the start, turning it up at least above 0.6. What this is going to do, it's going to keep you from misflipping on accident, especially when you start going into double jumps, when you start learning those in higher mechanics. This is going to save you a ton of time practicing on those. So that's the first tip. Let's get into tip number 2. Alright, for the second tip, you're just going to be in free play, where you have unlimited boost and you can do whatever you want with the ball. And the first tip that you want to do in here is when you load up Rocket League every day or a couple times a week, however often you play, you just want to come in here, start, and hit the ball as hard as you can, keeping your momentum. Now, if you're a beginner, you're not going to be able to do this very well. You're not going to be able to keep the ball moving and your car moving continuously. You're not going to be able to jump off walls or anything like that. So just start small, keep going as fast as you can, and try and play faster than you actually can. You're going to miss the ball, but trust me, in the long run, you're going to notice a huge difference in your play speed. And while you're in here, especially as you start going up in the ranks, getting off the wall is going to be a huge challenge. Especially in the lower ranks, being able to jump off the wall and hit the ball just once is the difference between a goal and getting scored on. So what I recommend is when you get in here, come up to the ball and just practice taking it up the wall and just trying to hit it. That's all you got to do. Just do this maybe 10 or 15 tries every day, just like that, hitting it off the wall. Especially if you are gold to low platinums, this is going to help you a ton in your games, improving. But the biggest thing I want to focus on here is spend about 10 minutes every day just trying to hit the ball and keep it going as fast as you can, booming it off the walls. And I have Bacchus mod, so I can't score goals, but if you are on Xbox or PS4, try not to score goals as it will kill your momentum. You'll have to restart. That's it for tip number 2. Let's get into tip number 3. Alright, with tip number 3, we're going to start off in training. And now this is anything you can do, whether on console or PC, you can get into these trainings. So we're going to go to custom training, and I have them favorited, but I will have the links down below in the description so all of you can try these out. And what we're going to do is aerial shots redirects. Now, if you're low level, some of these shots are going to be very hard for you to get to. but your goal here isn't to try and do anything too fancy. It's just to score the goal. Let's try to get to the ball fast and just try and score. That's the only thing you need to do here. It's just as simple as that. Run through these packs just like this, just trying to score all of the goals that you can. And the biggest thing is trying to get to them as fast as you can, because you can take forever to score these shots, but in an actual game, if you took forever, they would get blocked. Just trying to get powerful, strong hits that are fast on goal. And they don't have to score. If you hit backboard in a game, especially if you're lower ranks, the opposing team's not going to expect it. And a lot of times you can get a pass to your teammate if they're middle that can score it. So I recommend, there's quite a few of these packs, this being one of them. Another one we're going to check out is one by Squishy. It's a pro who's also on NRG. This one is fun because it combines a lot of different mechanics in the game. We're going to start off with a ball that's moving pretty fast up the wall. Again, just try and practice getting one hit on of it if you're a lower rank, or if you're a little bit higher, try going for an air dribble across field, maybe into a ground pinch. And there's quite a few of these shots, and Squishy has a very detailed video on how to practice each shot in this pack. There is one more training pack that I want to show you, and that is wall to air dribble. Now, some of you are not going to be able to air dribble at all, and if you can't, just practice getting one hit off the wall. Especially anywhere from high silvers, low golds, high golds, all around there. Getting one hit off the wall is going to completely change your game. Just one hit. And then as you get higher and you start learning how to control your car a little bit more, you can go for stuff like air dribbles, dribbling the ball on top of your car over a long distance. Now, aerial play is very important in later ranks. You're going to see a lot of it until you get really high, where ground control takes over. And ground control is something that's very easy to work on in free play. Now, there are a lot of training packs to work on ground control, but trust me, you want to do them in free play. In a game, the ball's not going to be dropped on your car for free. You're going to have to get it on top of your car by yourself. So you need to practice getting the ball on top of your car by yourself first. Just practice taking the ball, cutting it in, and then just keeping it on top of your car for as long as you can. And keep doing that. And once you can hold the ball on top of your car, you want to go for flicks and stuff like that. And practice getting power on them. Stuff like that. So, that's it for tip 3. Let's go on to tip number 4. Now, as we get into tip number 4, it can only be done on PC, sadly. This has not been optimized for consoles, and sadly, you guys cannot access it. So, an option by not using the workshop system is do more training packs found in the game. There are quite a few of them that focus on car control and flying. And after we finish showing this, I'm going to show one in free play, a little flying drill you can do on console to help you get better. So the first one we're going to jump into is Rings 2 by DMC, which all of these can be found in the Steam Workshop under Rocket League. And what you want to do here is, it's a pretty simple map. You just want to try and use your car control to get through the rings onto the next island. Now this is very hard at first. It is extremely challenging. And once you get better and better, you can start to challenge yourself more by throwing your car off by spinning. And it is much harder to do spinning, but first off, you just want to focus getting through it normally. And doing that is going to be a very big challenge, and this will greatly improve your car control. I know it sounds kind of silly, but they're honestly really fun. There's quite a few maps too. If you want a little bit longer one, you can use Lethamir's. His, I would say, is probably a couple steps above this on difficulty level, so I would recommend you master this first. But there are a couple more that we want to look at before we end on the workshop maps. And another one we want to look at is Dribble Challenge 2. Now this one might be the hardest one that I've ever done. And I struggle with this, and I have well over 1,000 hours in Rocket League. And basically all you want to do is get the ball on top of your car and drive it into the black goal. Like, see, Level 2, I'm already messing up. But this one does get very challenging very fast. And it's very frustrating, I know, to get stuck on levels on this. Trust me, I've been there plenty of times. But just want to practice here. That one's even a good one to practice your flicks. But it's going to be challenging and challenge you to turn with the ball. And it's a very time consuming, can be. So I don't recommend spending an hour on this a day. Just maybe a couple minutes, do it a couple tries, see as best as you can. And you can get the ball on top of your car and even practice flicks in here. You don't even have to go for the goal to get better. So that's going to wrap it up for the PC version of this. Now let's show an alternative for our console players. Alright, so for our console players version, what we're going to do here is we're back in free play, and we're going to completely ignore the ball here. All you want to do is fly up with ball cam on, and the first thing we're going to do is fly in between these boost pads. Now, at first you're going to struggle a lot flying in between boost pads around a circle of the ball. Just practice going in a circle around the ball, facing the ball at all times, keeping the bottom of your car facing it. Now, a lot of you won't be able to do this at the start, and it's going to be very hard and very frustrating. So if you're struggling to do that, just try and keep your car flying at all times. Try and point your nose to the sky and just stay in the air by holding boost. And once you get even better, you can practice going all the way up to the ceiling and then getting a flip. And just try and stay in the air at all times. Doing this is just going to teach you the basic fundamentals of your car and how it acts in the air. This is massively important for later ranks, and you're going to need this knowledge to know how to control your car in various positions. So that concludes tip number 4. Let's go on to tip number 5, the final tip. Alright, for tip number 5, our last tip, this is probably the most important if you want to rank up the fastest. It's looking at replays. And the reason we want to look at replays is because we have to figure out what we're actually doing wrong in the games to improve on that skill. So you don't even really want to focus on the games you win, rather, focus on the games where you lost. And you want to see what you could have done to improve that game. Go to a goal. Let's say we go here to, and you want to view yourself always in player view. This is my partner Retlos, there's me. So let's go forward to a goal right here. So as we see, I hit the ball up. It gets cleared. Well, okay, there's not much to for that goal. That was kind of rough on their part. Let's go to one of their goals. All right. Wait, let's back up before that aerial. All right, so here, I'm really late up to the ball. A very bad aerial that is ultimately going to respond in a goal. Now, what could I have done differently there? Well, let's rewind and look at my positioning before this happened. So, I got a bad touch that ultimately led to a bad clear. And then a demo. Let's see what I did after the demo. I turned and collected minis. That's good. Okay. So I pushed up and I wasn't really focused on my aerial very much. See, I turned back too far and killed all of my power when I hit the ball. So what I might do there is I'd go into free play and practice double jumping with the ball. Just practice double jumping straight, reaching it from different angles. I might find a training pack that is really fast shots that I try and get up and save, something like that. And replays are going to be individualized to you. So you're going to have to go through them and identify what you're doing wrong to get better at the game. Once you do that, there's no limit to how high you can be. Before long, there's going to be a new rank above GC. So hopefully, this video will set you off your path to reaching your highest rank. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next video.